Hello, friends. Welcome back to Blue Steel Tarot. Today is Monday, March 13th, and I'm here for your weekly reading. This is an exciting time because I feel like we just pushed the clocks forward, so we're gaining some light in the evening time, which is wonderful, especially up here in the Northeast of the United States. And in about a week, we will welcome in the spring season. So it's a really exciting time, I think. Anyway, I wanted to do a reading today, excuse me, that kind of focuses on the law of attraction, and it pertains to self-love. Because I think what we have to first do before we can be loved by anybody else or feel happiness in anything else that we feel like we desire, we have to truly love ourselves and be happy with who we are and where we are. I think one of the things that Abraham Hicks routinely says throughout her book, Ask and It Is Given, is be satisfied where you are and eager for more. Satisfied with what is and eager for more is another way of looking at that. So what I want to talk about today is what's something we should learn to love? What's something that you should learn to love this week? And we're going to look at what do people love about you? What is blocking you? And then how do you overcome that? And what is your future love goal? So we'll see. Your love goal, of course, only you know what that is, really, but I'll give you some insights as to what that might mean for you and how easily it'll come into your life. We'll talk about that. Okay, so what should I learn to love is the question. Or what should you learn to love? I'm kind of looking at it from, I say I really mean you. So what should you learn to love? Okay, the Page of Pentacles. What do people love about you? Okay, the Nine of Wands. What's blocking you? What is blocking you in terms of the self-love? Where do you get stuck? Okay, the Moon. Okay, so maybe some illusions. Maybe there might be some subconscious thoughts. How do you overcome that? Wow, Tower. Okay, complete shakeup. And then, what is your future love goal and how do you achieve it? Judgment. Okay, this is really interesting. I kind of like this. Let's jump into this a little bit more. So, what should you learn to love? So we have the Page of Pentacles. Pages bring news, they bring opportunities. I think what this is saying is, you should love new opportunities to try your hand at something new. You should, how does this relate to your self-love is kind of what we need to kind of focus on, though, right? So when we talk about self-love, I think that this is loving all of the skills and abilities you've picked up along the way and acknowledge the fact that you really are, that you have a lot to offer is kind of what I'm getting from this. So this could be you. This could be you bringing in the Page of Pentacles, right? Love who you've all the experiences and the knowledge that you've accumulated, right? I think that's really what we're saying here. And that's really kind of what I'm getting from when I look at this card in the context of what do you need to learn to love is that, you come in with this, you're holding this pentacle and like you've got a lot, you bring a lot to the table. So this is taking a moment to appreciate where you've been, how far you've come, the skills and capabilities you picked up along the way, because that's not lost on people, okay? So I think that's what you need to learn and think about a little bit here, right? What do people love about you? I mean, I think that they feel like, hey, you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to put in the effort, and you go full speed ahead, and you've kind of like really pursued a lot of interesting things that have aligned with some of your passions. So I think that people see you as somebody who is motivated, passionate, who, looks for the ultimate, like the end goal, the end state, and is willing to put in the work. I think people really love that about you. You probably have a dedication and maybe a work ethic is kind of what I'm getting to, a work ethic when I think of this card in particular, right? The Nine of Wands, he's kind of pausing before he continues on the final leg of the journey. But he's done a tremendous amount of work. He's got these 9 wands. He's leaning on one a little bit, but he's kind of pausing a little bit. So, maybe this is like, hey, you've come so far. People love that about you. People love the way that you kind of jump fully into something and you can really dedicate the time, energy, and resources that need to be dedicated to something. And I think people admire that about you. So I think continue to think about that. Now, as far as like what's blocking you in the space of self-love, we have the moon. So the moon is all about illusions, right? So but down below we have the water, and you can see the water as there's ripples. So we don't really know what's causing the ripples in this water because it kind of lies beneath the surface. So what this tells me is that you've kind of got some beliefs, and maybe it's an imposter syndrome just kind of came into mind, right? Where you kind of don't necessarily feel like you have the ability, like you need more experience, you need more whatever it is to do something, okay? And so what I'm getting from this is like your self-love is like you feel you understand like you've had some great experiences, and I think this is what this is telling you to focus on, right? And why people love you. But I think you yourself, you need to kind of take that step back and evaluate what your subconscious mind is believing, right? When we talk about the law of attraction, these are a belief is nothing more than an idea that we continue to think. What are those ideas that you've continued to think that maybe point to that limit you on moving forward and loving yourself? It could be the fact that you feel like I'm just kind of thinking about you're not you don't necessarily see all of the progress you've made along the way, both in terms of like I just got relationships and even like work skills and abilities, right? So I think what you really need to do is you're being held back by some subconscious beliefs, and what you really need to do is do a complete shakeup here. So how do you overcome that? Complete shakeup. This is a complete analysis of like, what do I believe? And so what you might even want to do is sit down with a piece of notepaper and write on one side what I believe about whatever it could be. It could be my professional career, my interests and hobbies, my relationships, and even like you could do something like money, right? Write down just let your mind wander and go like, what do I believe on the left-hand side? And then on the other side is write down this, like what you want to believe instead, and kind of challenge some of those beliefs. Like, for example, if you believe that love is difficult to find, kind of position it on the opposite side. Say, well, what if it isn't so easy to find? Maybe it's not so difficult to find. Maybe it's just that I need to be more open and receptive to the ways in which people show love, display love, and the way in which I react to it. Same thing with money, right? You could even say, my relationship with money, you might determine based upon this analysis that you believe that money is hard to earn, it's limited, and maybe then we need to think about, okay, there are many ways to earn money, and money is just energy that flows. So if money is really just energy that flows, then isn't it always accessible to us if we're open and receptive to receiving it? So these are the kind of things I think you really kind of might want to do, and that could be a complete overhaul and understanding of breaking out of this pattern of like these limiting beliefs that might be kind of under the surface that you're not really paying attention to, frankly. You've not necessarily listened to this before, and kind of uncover what those are and eradicate those from your beliefs. Poke holes in some of those beliefs. Once we start to question a belief, our mind can start to unravel and pull it apart and really analyze, is this really a concern? Is this really is this really something that's really holding us back? Is this really true? And I think you're going to realize, no, this isn't really true. In whatever area it might be. So what is your future love goal? I mean, hey, you're looking to be completely reborn. You're looking for, this is completely like a whole new you. This is you emerging in a more confident, more secure state of mind, state of being, and an understanding of like what you're capable of doing. And I think the way you get there is like, this is an amazing card to have, right? So I just kind of laid it out like this. But I mean, you're kind of, as you eradicate and you completely evolve the way that you're thinking and what your subconscious mind believes, you will have a rebirth, and you will completely come out of this like a whole new person. And you can kind of really evaluate and change the way that you think. And when you change the way that you think and your beliefs start to change, you'll notice that your experiences start to change, your views start to change. And that can be a complete transformation of what comes into your life. And frankly, this is a lot of what Joe Dispenza talks about. This is a lot of what Abraham Hicks talks about, Joe Murray and others and Neville Goddard in particular. So I would encourage you to, you've got a lot of amazing skills and abilities and experiences that have created who you are today. You have a lot to offer, people really, really have a strong admiration and appreciation for the work and the work ethic and the way that you jump into something and you pursue your passions, and you have a lot of passions. That's kind of what I'm getting out of this too. It's just kind of eradicating some of these subconscious beliefs from your mind so you can kind of have this new rebirth. And I think that this is a great exercise for you to think about this week as we continue to move forward, and think about the self-love. Think about just loving yourself, appreciating yourself. Another exercise I might challenge you to do that relates to this is each morning when you wake up, when you first wake up, pull out a journal. And I have a separate journal, and I call it my gratitude journal. I don't use it every day, but what I do is I will open the journal in the morning and I will write, I am grateful for, and I will write down whatever comes to mind. Sometimes it's just, I am grateful for a wonderful Sunday, fun day afternoon with friends. It could be, I am just grateful for, the sunshine, whatever it is. It could be something completely trivial, but it does kind of get you feeling appreciation and gratitude. And when we feel appreciation and gratitude, we're telling the universe more of this, please. So I think that that's something you really want to kind of do, but also take an opportunity to appreciate, what do you do well? What are you doing well? What is going well? What is the value you bring to others at work and whatever else that you might be pursuing? So I think it's a great opportunity to follow up on this week. So as always, please drop any questions or comments, suggestions or thoughts down below in the comment section. And I wish everyone a great week. We'll be back again soon.